G'day and welcome to another video with Better Pics. Hope this finds you all well. Today we're going to look at reframing your image within Photoshop. Now, this is a little bit different to cropping your image if you're wanting to change the shape or where the image sits within the frame. The main advantage with this is it keeps the image as the same resolution as the original file. Whereas when you crop, obviously you're cropping away resolution to change the framing of that image. It won't mean that you're going to have any better quality image because you're keeping the same resolution, because there is a process of interpolation or recreating pixels for the image to fill that frame. But it means that you start and finish with the same resolution. So if you're using the image in other applications, then maintaining that resolution is a good thing. So let's firstly just have a look at the image size. So this was originally shot on a 24 megapixel camera. As you can see there, it's 6,000 by 4,000 pixels. It's currently sitting at 300 pixels per inch, which is a pretty standard sizing process that I go through and resolution that I apply to my images. All right, so what we're going to do, we have to do this in a two-step process. So first we select all. You can see the shortcut there is Control A. I'm a big fan of shortcuts and I definitely recommend to learn to use some because they will absolutely speed up your workflow. And when we select all, you can see we have those marching ants around all parts of the image. Now just remember too, with our layers, we've simply got this as a background. However, this applies for a layered image or an image where there isn't a background and it might just be a layer with a transparent background underneath. What we want to do now is go to Edit and Free Transform, which is Control T. And if we click on that one, you can see that we now have these control points on all sides of the image and in the center of each side as well. Sorry, all corners of the image and in the center of each side. Now, if we just click and drag, you can see we actually can click and almost zoom in with that image within the frame. And you can see that the boundaries of the original file are highlighted there on the outside of the frame, and we can reframe. We can even rotate a little bit. Now, this image has a straight horizon when it was shot, but if you want to straighten the horizon, that's one way that you can do it within Photoshop. That's a handy little hint to be aware of and remember. You can see there's also guidelines there where it's snapping so that we're looking at the exact center of the image aligned with the center of the frame as well. So that's another handy little tip to keep in mind. If we click on that tick there, if we hit return, you can see that it locks that reframing in place. And if we go back to image size, you can see that it's still 6,000 by 4,000 at 300 pixels per inch. Now, is there limitations on how much you can increase the image from an image quality perspective? In other words, if you really increase the size of the image or zoom in or really heavily reframe that image, are you going to have issues with quality? Well, the answer is definitely yes, and there's no exact answer on how much you can increase the size because it always comes down to the quality of the capture. And I mean, that's, based on a number of factors: quality of the lens, the ISO setting, the sharpness of the aperture setting that you've used. Obviously, with pretty much all lenses, when you stop down a couple of stops from open, the image tends to be resolved with sharper outcomes. So there's a bunch of factors that will affect the quality of your image and how much you can reframe or increase the size of that image. This one was pretty good. It was shot with a low ISO, it was shot with a good quality camera and lens, and it's pretty sharp. So as you can see, it's still maintaining quite a bit of detail there, and you'd have no problem reframing it as much as we have. If we just hit Control T again, you can see we've still got that outline over the image, and we can reframe it again if we want to. Now, if we save this image, let's save it. And we're going to shut that image down and then we're going to reopen it. And we go to Control A and Control T. You can see that we've actually lost that resolution. So when we make those edits, save it, which in this case we saved it as a JPEG, we have actually lost that resolution. All right. So you just want to make sure that you're happy with your reframing and that your image is of quality enough that it's going to handle that reframing, because once you save it and shut that image down, you are going to lose that extra opportunity to reframe again. That resolution that has been cropped off by increasing the image within the frame is lost. So just an important note there to keep in mind. However, for most situations, it is a fantastic way to reframe that image and just have a slightly different look with your image, and it will give you a bit of flexibility with your editing. Thanks so much for stopping by. I hope you found this video to be helpful. As always, any questions are welcome in the comments below, and we look forward to seeing you next time. Take care.